The rain was falling in silver sheets that night, thick enough to blur the world into smudges of gray and gold. Jack Turner tightened his jacket around his shivering shoulders as he trudged home from his late shift at the diner. The road was empty, just the soft hum of distant thunder and the rhythmic squelch of his boots against the muddy ground. He'd been a single dad for 3 years now, ever since his wife passed, and every night was a battle between exhaustion and the quiet ache of loneliness. But then he saw her. A tiny figure standing under the flickering streetlight, soaked through, clutching a stuffed rabbit so tightly it looked ready to fall apart. At first, Jack thought it was his imagination. But then the little girl turned her head, and he saw the fear in her wide eyes. She couldn't have been more than 6. Her lips were trembling, her shoes mismatched, and there was a scrape on her knee. Jack's instincts kicked in. He knelt down, careful not to frighten her further. "Hey there, sweetheart. You okay? Where's your mom or dad?" The girl didn't answer. She just stared at him, silent, her small frame shaking. Then she whispered, "I can't find my mommy." That single sentence broke something inside him. It reminded him of his own daughter, Lily, asleep at home, the only light in his dark world. He offered his hand, and after a long pause, the girl took it. Jack brought her home, wrapped her in a blanket, and made her some soup. Lily woke up and immediately bonded with the stranger, giggling and sharing her crayons. The lost girl finally spoke her name, Emily. She didn't remember much, only that her mom's car had stopped somewhere, and when she woke up, her mom was gone. And Jack called the police, but the storm had knocked out power lines and jammed phone lines across town. They said they'd send someone as soon as they could. Until then, Emily stayed. And as the hours passed, something in the small house began to change. For the first time in years, Jack heard laughter again, tiny giggles bouncing off the kitchen walls. He found himself smiling, watching Lily and Emily build a blanket fort and pretend they were princesses saving the world. But the calm couldn't last forever. The next morning, a convoy of black SUVs pulled up outside Jack's small house. Men in suits stepped out, scanning the yard, followed by a woman in heels that didn't belong anywhere near the mud. Her eyes, sharp, searching, desperate, landed on Emily through the window. The moment the girl saw her, she screamed, "Mommy," and bolted into her arms. Jack stood frozen on the porch, unsure what to do. The woman looked up at him, tears streaking her perfectly made-up face. "Thank you," she whispered. "You found my daughter." He nodded awkwardly, unsure what to say. But then came the part that shook him to the core. The woman took a deep breath. "Mr. Turner, Emily isn't just any little girl. And there's something I need to tell you, something that changes everything." The next day, the police came to take statements. Jack learned her name, Victoria Hayes. She was one of the wealthiest women in the state, owner of a real estate empire, and her missing daughter had been the center of a statewide search. The world saw her as perfect, polished, powerful, untouchable. But when Jack saw her up close, he noticed the cracks, the exhaustion behind her poise, the guilt in her trembling hands. After the officers left, Victoria asked to speak to him privately. They sat at the old kitchen table, the same one Jack had fixed with duct tape after his wife's death. "You seem like a good man, Mr. Turner," she said softly. "A good father." "I try," he replied, cautious. She hesitated, then looked at him with tear-filled eyes. "I didn't lose Emily by accident. Someone took her from me." Jack froze. "Took her?" "Yes. And the person who took her was my husband." The air went still. She explained that her husband, billionaire investor Richard Hayes, had been trying to control her, to use their daughter as leverage during their bitter separation. He'd staged the disappearance to punish her for wanting to leave him. But then the storm hit, and somehow Emily escaped from the car before anyone noticed. She'd wandered into the woods, and ended up in Jack's world. Jack felt his heart twist. He looked toward the living room where Lily and Emily were now playing together, laughing as if they'd been sisters forever. Victoria's voice broke. "You don't understand. When I saw you with her, something inside me," she paused. "You reminded me what love looks like. Real love. Not built on money or fear, but care." Jack didn't know what to say. He'd been surviving on scraps of hope, piecing together a life for his daughter with minimum-wage jobs and sleepless nights. But here was this woman, rich beyond imagination, envying what little he had genuine love. Before she left, she looked at him and whispered, "You and your daughter saved her life. I owe you everything." Weeks passed. Jack went back to his routines, but something felt missing. The laughter had quieted again. Then one morning, a letter arrived. Inside was an invitation handwritten on embossed paper. Victoria wanted to see him. He almost didn't go. But Lily convinced him. "Daddy," she said with her toothy grin, "Emily misses us." When they arrived at Victoria's estate, Jack was stunned. It was like stepping into another world: marble floors, crystal chandeliers, staff lined up like soldiers. But what caught his heart wasn't the wealth. It was Emily running down the steps, arms open wide. "Jack!" "Lily," she squealed. Victoria followed, her eyes softer now. "I was hoping you'd come," she said. "Emily talks about you both every day." Then she handed Jack an envelope. Inside was a deed, a small countryside house, fully paid for. "I know what you're thinking," she said quickly. "But this isn't charity. It's gratitude. You gave me back my daughter, and a piece of my soul." Jack was speechless. She smiled faintly. "You see, I thought money could fix everything. But the truth is, it can't buy the one thing you gave Emily: love without expectation." The story ended not with romance, but something deeper. A friendship born from pain and gratitude. A reminder that sometimes the richest people are the ones who have lost the most, and that the poorest hearts can give the greatest gifts. As the sun set behind them, Jack watched Lily and Emily chase fireflies across the garden. Victoria stood beside him, silent, watching too. "I guess," Jack said quietly, "we both found something we'd lost." Victoria nodded. "Yes," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Hope." And in that golden light, as laughter filled the air once more, it felt like every broken piece of their lives had finally found its way home.